Welcome back my YouTube family. I'm your instructor. My name is Rashid. If you are new to Python or want to start working with data, you are in the right place. Today we are going to explore one of the most powerful library in Python for data manipulation. By the end of this episode, you will understand the fundamentals of working with data frames, series, slicing data, missing values, and much more. So grab a notebook and let's dive in.
Before we begin, just one small request. I put my heart into making these videos. Late nights, skipped meals, no social life, all for you. So please, don't break my heart. Hit that subscribe button. One click from you means the world to me. Didn't subscribe yet? Honestly, it hurts. Now let's get started.
So first of all, we will discuss about the pandas. Pandas is a powerful tool in Python that helps you to work with data. Imagine you have a big table with rows and columns like an Excel spreadsheet. Pandas lets you easily create, manipulate, and analyze these tables of data. You can use it to sort information, calculate statistics, or filter out the data as per your need. It makes handling and analyzing data much easier and faster. Then the next thing that we have to learn, that is the data frame. Before we begin, let's talk about a data frame actually is. Think of it like an Excel sheet or a database table. It's a two-dimensional data structure in pandas where the data is organized into rows and columns. You can store almost any kind of data in it: numbers, text, dates, or more. Let's create a simple data frame to see how it works. First, we import pandas using the alias pd. This is the common convention in Python, so you will see it everywhere. Next, we create a dictionary called data. A dictionary in Python is a collection of key value pairs. Dictionary is a combination of key and values. In this case, name, age, and salary. These are the keys, and the values are the lists of names, ages, and salaries. We then pass the dictionary into pd.dataframe, which converts it into a data frame. Then print df into parentheses will output our data frame to the console. You will notice that each column represents a category, name, age, and salary, and each row in an individual record for that person. By default, pandas add an index on the left side starting from 0. In pandas, index starts from 0. Now that we have our data frame, let's explore it a bit. Pandas give us several tools to quickly analyze our data. The head and the tail methods are the two of the most commonly used. When we call df.head parentheses open and parentheses close, it will show you the first 5 rows of the data frame. Similarly, df.tail shows you the last 5 rows. This is a super helpful if you have a large data set and only want a quick look at the beginning or the end of your data. This is super helpful if you have a large data set and you want to see quickly at the beginning or at the end of your dataset. By default, both methods display 5 rows, but if you can pass in a number if you want more or few rows. For example, df.head in parentheses I'm going to pass 3 would return the first 3 rows. Series in pandas is like a single column of data, similar to a list or an Excel column. It has 2 parts, the data itself and an index like labels or row numbers. We use a series when we want to store and work with just one set of values, such as a list of names, ages, or prices. So basically, this is my data frame, and this one column of customer ID, this is a series. Similarly, customer name, this is also a series. And this sales column, this one column, is also a series. More when we will be working on practical coding, then we will get more familiar with the data frame and the series. Next, let's say you only want at one specific column like the name of the people in your dataset. Pandas makes this incredibly easy. When you type df in square brackets in commas name, you are selecting just the name column from the dataset. The result will be in single column, or you can say this is series. I already explained a series in pandas is essentially a one-dimensional array more than one column. Pandas can handle that easily too. This time we are passing a list of column names inside double square brackets. The result is a new data frame with only the name and age columns. This is especially useful when you are interested in a subset of your data. Just remember, if if you are selecting multiple columns, you need to use double square brackets. Now when you use df.loc square brackets 2, basically this is a label based location. In this case, you are selecting the row with the index 2. So it will return you this index row with Ismail and age of 32. And if you will be selecting 0, it will return you these names Rashid and age of 28. More if here I write comma and in square brackets the name, and if I will search it again, it will give you the name only. Sometimes you don't want to select data by labels or names, but by their position in the data frame. That's where index-based selection comes in handy. It lets you to select data based on its numerical index. So for example, here I'm typing df.ilog in square brackets 0 to 1, comma 0 to 1. In this example, we are selecting the first row and the first column from the data frame. 0, 1 means it starts from 0 and goes to 1, but 1 is not included in this. For example, here I'm typing 0 to 0. Now this is giving nothing. If I will be typing 0 to 1, now it will return me the first row, means the row with the 0 index, because in this 1 is not included. It is giving me the index till 0. If I will be typing here 2, 0 to 2, now it will return me the 2 rows, the row with 0 index and the row with index number 1. Here if I will be typing 3, now it will give me the 3 rows, the row with the index number 0, 1 and 2. 3 is not included in this. Similarly, here if I will be typing 0 to 0, it will give me nothing. If I will be typing 0 to 1, now it will give me my first column. If I will be typing here 2, now it will give me my 2 columns 0 and 1. And if I will be typing 3, now this is giving me the 3 columns from 0 to 2. 3 is not included in this. So this is the way you can use this ilog in pandas. This is called slicing and it's super useful when you will be working with large data sets. And just remember, Python uses zero-based indexing, so counting starts from 0. When working with real data, you will often encounter missing or null values. Missing data can disturb your analysis, so it's important to check for them. So df.isNull.sum, this function checks each column for missing values and return the number of null entries in each. In our case, all columns have 0 missing values, which means our data is complete. But in larger dataset, you might find missing values that need to be handled. If you do find missing values, Pandas offers several ways to handle them, such as filling them with a specific value, like you can fill them with 0, or dropping rows with missing data. This will be depend on you as per your need, as per your requirement. In future, in this course, when we will be working on practical data, we will handle them. For now, you must remember that we have to check the null values in your dataset. Another common task in data exploration is identifying unique values in a column. This is especially useful when you are working with categories or groups like product names, countries, and in our case, we have names in the data. So I will be typing df into square brackets name.unique. This will return an array of all the unique names in the name column. In larger data sets, this can give you a quick sense of the diversity or the uniqueness of your data. This is a great tool for understanding categorical data, and it's often the first step in more advanced analysis. Today, we covered some of the most fundamental operations you can do with pandas: creating data frames, series, selecting data, slicing, and more. These are the building blocks of the working with data in Python, and you will see them all the time, whether you are analyzing sales data, customer informations, or anything else. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future episodes of this playlist. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode of this incredible playlist. Goodbye.